an old person thing. I feel like I'm watching you grow up. Like from when you started, I feel like I'm 42, but I'm like, oh my God, wait, you're like a woman. It's crazy. But you started pretty young. Were you 10 when you started playing guitar?
Yes, when I got my first guitar, I was 10 years old. My parents got me one for my birthday.
Was it your idea? You asked for it, or did they just go, hey, maybe do this? Like,
no, it was definitely my idea.
Okay.
I was in a store with my mom, and it was like some tech store. It was not even a music store, but they had a guitar hanging on the wall, and I was like, I want that. My mom was like, no, we're here to buy, I don't know, like a water cooler or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what this store was.
This is the greatest store ever.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Pick up a water cooler and a guitar. Yeah.
I know, literally, they had like the weirdest items in there. But she said no, she was like, we can't afford that. No, we were here to buy something else. And then I guess she like ruminated on it, told my dad, and then for my 10th birthday, which was coming up, they bought me that same guitar that was there at the store. And
That's sweet. I should have done it. Have y'all met before?
No,
I didn't know if y'all met before.
fan.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
I was like, I should have led with that. I'm a horrible host.
No, not at all.
I was like, I've known her so I thought you knew. I was like, wait a minute, this is my job.
That's okay.
I do have a question though, like, because your music is so interesting. I feel like you're like an amalgamation of a lot of different genres. So like, what was like your first concert? Who inspired you?
Who inspired me? I mean, so many different people. I was like a huge Amy Winehouse fan.
Yeah.
Probably too young to be listening to Amy Winehouse, but nonetheless.
Never too young.
Never too young.
There you go.
But my first concert was actually a Justin Bieber concert.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you are so young. I don't know if I've asked you. What was like your first concert?
Justin Bieber also.
Yeah. Right?
I love him so much.
Linda Ronstadt.
Is it Linda? I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was like, I wanted to walk on the stage. I was just like so mesmerized.
Yeah. Oh my
awesome.
God, yeah, what
Wow.
a great yeah. Well, your new album is called Love and Hyperbole.
Yeah.
So it's about the last few years, right?
Yes, yeah. It's an album basically about the last 3 years of my life. It's like very autobiographical, I'm sure, you know, as most albums are, but I went through a lot the last 3 years, you know, and just like kind of thinking a lot about life and love and loss and, you know, different forms of that and
navigating it.
Yeah. Navigating through it, yeah, and kind of reshaping my relationship to it. And yeah, this is what came out.
Yeah. And do you have any favorites?
Favorite songs?
Yeah, favorites.
Ooh.
I know they change. I hate when people ask me that.
I
I don't know
know,
why
I was
I
gonna
asked
say,
you that.
you probably
I know they're
yeah.
all your babies, but and it changes.
It
that
does
happens for me
change.
too. But do you have a favorite?
I mean, right now, I do love, there's a song called Obvious that I put out as the second single. It's always amazing when like your favorite song and the single align. I don't know.
That rarely happens.
Rarely, that's why I'm like, so I'm holding on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love that song so much. That's a favorite. Also, another song called Slow Motion. There's another song called Fire that I really
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So, how do you feel like, you know, we talked about a little bit because you just said, you know, it changes. Everything changes, you know, for us, and they're kind of different chapters of our life. Like, how do you feel you've changed since like making your first records? We're all three women sitting here in an industry that can be hard for a woman and to fight for yourself and whatever you think the single should be. But how do you feel like that's changed over time? Because they're different chapters, I think, of our lives, right? Like
For sure, yeah.
like snapshots.
For sure, especially, I mean, when you're starting out super young. I'm not sure how old you guys were when you started, but I mean,
We were so young.
We were
you were
so
like
young.
so young. Yeah.
I was like professionally 19.
Yeah.
Professionally 19.
Same. I was 18.
Okay.
So same. Yeah. Like it's like, you know, that's. I'm 28 now, turning 29 this year. Like very big difference from 18 to 20.
Yeah. Very big.
Very big.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a totally different person. You know, like for me, I think like the DNA of who I was, of course, is like still in there, and my voice as a songwriter has always been in there. I think it's just like the clay is more shaped and like it's formed something that makes more sense.
All these
to me, if that
influences
makes
over the
sense.
years.
But what about you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was 26, but I think you also go back and you will love all these versions of yourself. When you get to be my age, you'll be like, okay, those songs, like I still sing songs from that first album, you know, because that's who I was and who I still am in there, you know. So I think you'll just find as you go, you change and you grow, and the way you look at the world changes, but you always love, you learn to love all those versions of yourself.
Oh my gosh, so that's interesting. So I have this song called Piece by Piece, and
yeah, we all know that song.
Yeah.
Well,
I think I've heard it.
yeah. Well, I can't. I don't know if you know that.
No, of course.
But I can't. Do you have a song in your catalog that you're like, can't sing that? You know what I'm saying? Like you just, I don't feel that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then I changed it. I just went up and changed the lyrics. I wrote the first one, so whatever. But like I just mean I changed the lyrics to it, and it kind of changed into like more of a self-empowering song for me now, which is hard for me to sing that song as it was. So it's funny that you're paying like homage to it, but I can't. Like, fans were like, oh, you didn't perform that song. And I was like, because it's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for me. Do you have any of those in your set? Like, it's just hard. I don't know. Like, I changed it so I could sing it again and made it more of a self-empowering thing, which is beautiful.
I think that's really cool that you did that.
Well, I had to. There was no option.
Yeah.
No option. But do you have a song like that in your catalog? Do you go on stage and you're like, man, I know it was a snapshot of me, but like, I can't physically sing that. Do you have that? Am I the only crazy one here?
No, you're not crazy at all.
I just make poor decisions or life.
I'm just mentally going through my whole catalog right now.
Me too,
I
I'm trying
gotta
to
make
think.
some changes, I'm sure.
Yeah, me too. I'm just
I
like
know.
blindly singing. I don't know. There are definitely a few songs that I'm like, I wish, maybe not so much the subject matter, because I mean, like you said, I think I'm at a place now where I'm able to embrace certain parts of my life, even though sometimes I'm like, maybe don't feel that way anymore. Like, maybe wouldn't have said it like this, but it's more so for me, like, I should have changed that note, or I don't like that lyric. It's more like an analytical thing, where it's like, I wish I would.
Oh, I do that too.
You know, like that's what it is for me.
What was I thinking? I think that happens too when you go out and you get on the road, like you're about to be on the road, and it's like you go on tour and you tour the song. So making the song in the studio is so much fun. It's its own like creative, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But then you take it on the road and it becomes something else, and you're like, oh, wish that would have captured this. on
Yeah,
the
I wish
record.
like the studio version was like the new live way
Like
that
my
I
Miss
do it.
Independent Live is so much better than the record. Like I like the record,
I
but
feel you.
it's like you do these and you live with it,
For sure.
and it becomes like something even cooler, and it like I don't know, it's like I don't know, it's a beautiful thing to go out on the road and actually feed off the fans, and the energy and how you would do it live is different. I don't know.
I think that's true. I think if you could go out and do your album live before you recorded it, you'd make a different record.
Yes.
Let's take another break. Alessia's new album is called Love and Hyperbole. It's out now wherever you get your music, and her tour of the same name runs from spring through summer, so go online for tickets and dates.